Hello everyone, welcome to another video, and today I will try to create um, a ground material. So I will start using the tile sampler to create my base pattern, and to make this I will switch my pattern to paraboloid, and I will decrease the X and the amount to something like 6 by 6. I will start with this number. I will increase the scale, some scale random, some position random, and I will go here and made a color random. With this I will create an edge detect to take the edges and make this kind of pattern. I can control if I want a different shape. I can go back here in the position random and find different shapes like this, and maybe to try to the form I will try to create a warp and use the crystals one. I will connect right here. I don't know if this will work great, but let's try. After that I will create a very soft blur HQ and let me connect right here. I will make a very soft blur. Now with the blur I think the result is quite better. With this edge detect I will create a distance node. I don't need this one. Like this. And we'll create a flood fill and a flood fill gradient. I will make angle variation set to 1, and I will create a distance node. I will put this one here in my source input, and this first one I will use my main shape, and I will copy and paste this one for a few times. We'll just change the angle. Same thing here. I will now create a blend, and I will use the min and the levels to make a better blend of the min. So with these arrows right here I can control this one. We create now a new blend, create a levels, we'll put the min again, and a new blend with the levels. And I will go right here and I will increase my normals. Let me drag this right here. I can move the X and Y amount to find a better pattern for this. Let me see. Okay, let me decrease a little bit the scale random. Something like this should work. I will just increase a little bit the blur and find a new pattern. And what I will do now is create a slow blur with the party noise, just to make more deformation in the shape. And I will blend these two together, but I will create a levels here to make this more intense, because I will blend as a minimum darken. So I will move with the levels to find a good gradient to make a better clip here in this blend. Okay, and one thing I will try to do is create a directional warp, and I will warp the base shape with himself, so we increase the intensity. Okay, what I will do next is create a tile sampler, and I will switch to pattern input, and I will use the polygon 2. I will increase the curves, the scale, and the gradient. I will put this on my pattern input 1. I will make a size random. We'll put on 0.5. Scale random and scale, some position random also. And I will go back here and I will make a mask random to decrease the number of this pattern in my grid. So rotation random should work well. And after that I will create a blend, and I will put this on top. I can use the odd linear and decrease the opacity to make something very soft. And after that I will start creating the colors. So I will create a gradient map. I will take some random colors. Like this. One thing I can try to do is, let me see if this will work. I will try to create a mask. I think it will be better if I use the color variation. So what I will do is create my base color variation. So I will start using the pearly noise, slope blur with the creased, like this. I will create a slope with the clouds. And now I will start a very soft blur and a slope blur with itself. And something like this can be my color variation. So I will take random colors. I will blend with this one. I will take now a gradient. I will put a gray here on start, and something like this. I can use a very light color like this blue, and I will blend as overlay. Let me connect to see how this is looking. With this normal, I will create a curvature smooth, and with a gradient map, I will take this black and drag like this, and after that I will drag the white to make this highlights, and I can blend back also as that linear. To make this highlights, let me drag this back. One thing that I want to make is create something like a ground, so I will use a height blend right here, and what I can do, I will start to create a clouds. I will make a very soft blur in these clouds and a slope blur. Samples on max, and I will decrease the intensity. And with this, I will create a directional warp, and I can use decrease it. And let me connect this on top. I think the result is really cool. Maybe the contrast put in 0.9 should work well. One thing I can try is create auto levels right here before the height blend. Now I will increase more this one. I don't know, I think I don't need this. Okay, what I will do is create a gradient map for this ground. And let's try blend these two together. I will create this blend right here. After the color variation, I will put this color and I will put the mask of the height blend on my opacity, something like this, and I will decrease the opacity or try to find a good blend mode for this. I think this one is really good. The colors are really interesting. One thing I can do is create a color for these dots. So I will just take this black part, will switch to white, and I will decrease the opacity. But for this one I can use something like a gray color, and I can blend here at the end this color right here. I can move this arrow more like this. Let me decrease the opacity. Something more soft like this should work well. And this blend, instead to be here, I can blend before the ground. So I think the correct part to make this blend, it's right there. So I will put here. Okay. And one thing that I can make also is take this normal map right here and take our RGBA split, and I will create a levels based on the green. I will invert. I will put this on my opacity and use the hue saturation to make this more darken or brighter. I think brighter will be better. But with this, we can put something like a bright color on the top, and this looks like a hand painted texture. I can try to increase the black of this part, and I will try to put a very soft blur. I think something very soft like this should work well. And just to finish, I will create a gradient also for this part, but this time I will use just the gray part. I will take off the opacity of the white, and right here I can use something like our dark gray blue, and I will try to blend right here to see the results. Oh, this one is really cool. So, I think that's it. I just put an ambient occlusion here in the final blend. And one thing I forgot, we can make the roughness. I will just take the curvature with our levels. I will invert and blend with spots. Let me multiply and use a histogram scan to control the position. I will put right here my roughness, and I control the roughness in this one. Let me enable the tessellation. I think the final result it's really cool. So hope you enjoyed this video, and I see you next time.